My husband and I hosted a dinner party in our community where we featured some of our food from our seafood line, the Crab Place. We had drinks and we had such a good vibe. So quite a few days before the event, I had several shipments come in of seafood that I wanted to have for the party, plus a few personal orders for content that I wanted to make for the brand. I had them all shipped in. The frozen ones I had shipped in first, but the refrigerated ones that I knew I was going to be using immediately, I had shipped in the day before for overnight shipping. This party was going to be for about 12 to 14 people, so I had to have a lot of these products. So I'm going to unbox them all and show you what we got. So a little backstory on the Crab Place. The Crab Place is a business that my husband started, and I came in and joined the team when we got married about 7 years ago. I love this brand so much. If I was not associated with him, I still would be raving about it. Like, it's really that serious, no BS. The primary part of this business is them selling blue crabs, but they also sell premium seafood like fish, snow crabs, shrimp, mussels, scallops, all of those. So a little backstory on the Crab Place. The Crab Place was started by my husband over 20 years ago. He was the first man to sell seafood online. The Crab Place is literally the first seafood business to ship to your door. No BS. Like, my husband was a pioneer in this seafood game. So anyway, about 10 years ago, here I come along and I shake things up a bit. I become part owner of the company and I'm really, really invested in this brand. Like, it's not just because he's my husband. I really love the brand. I was a buyer before I knew him. I still buy the product. I do not get none of this product for free. We buy our product, okay? So anyway, for this shipment, I needed about 12 of each item that we have bought. We was going to be making crab soup. We was going to be making just a bunch of different things. We hired a chef that was going to come and turn all of our seafood into high-end meals, and it was going to be presented to the table one by one as we explain how and where we source the seafood from. I was really excited for this event because it was basically our inaugural event. We sell a lot of seafood, and a lot of times people don't even know what it is that we really do. We are called the Crab Place, but we sell all types of seafood. So I figured we'd have like a banquet or a dinner to introduce some of our closest friends and family to the product and, introduce them to how they can actually use the product in real life. Aside from our bestseller, which is the blue crabs, we sell all types of shellfish, including oysters and clams, and as you had seen in the previous bag, shelled scallops. We don't actually have those on the website, but it was something that was requested so I can test it out for the website and see if it was actually something that our customers would like to have. So after inventorying this box, I'm going to pack it all back up because it's going straight to our chef and she's going to use everything in here to whip up something for our guests for the dinner party. So moving on to my next box. Again, I have quite a few of them because we are hosting a dinner party. I have so many things that ship. They had to ship separately. So there are different things in different boxes and I'm basically opening up each one to separate them and getting them prepared for the chef. There are some things that stay with me and there's some things that go with her so she can prepare the food for our dinner party. And just to give a little behind the scenes insight about this order, we needed fresh fish for this order. And so I had to actually call the Crab Place and place a special order. Y'all may not know, but y'all going to know that sometimes you can call in and request something specific and they will actually source it to you. This is not something that's advertised. It's something that we do for our customers on a as needed basis. We have customers who've been with us for so long. They shoot their shot with us and we come through. So it's more like a concierge thing. We're going to be pushing later on during our rebrand where we let our customers know that if you want something specific, give us a little lead time and we will get it for you into your door. But with that being said, let's get into this batch of crabs that was shipped from the Crab Place. I just love how they packed this on the side. I actually wasn't expecting this. My husband ordered this. And so when I opened it, I did not know what it was. So I'm like, yeah, got this dozen of crabs in. I'm excited about that. So now what you see here is what we got from our local meat store. It is 14 prime steaks. We are going to have a surf and turf. So we are going to have a lobster and a steak served as one of the final courses during our meal. But anyway, moving on into the plateware that I ordered for this dinner. I wanted this dinner to be very special and I wanted to be custom. So what I did is I went on Amazon and I ordered a bunch of slate plates, that I planned on customizing so that way it could be a branded dinner. Like I like to do things, a little upscale and different. So I took it upon myself to research, how can I customize a private dinner, and not found out, but basically came to the conclusion that I can just use a bunch of various size slate plates, engrave them, and have them be for the dinner party. I figured because the food was going to be the highlight of the event, I wanted to make sure that the branding was going to be in place and that I would be able to see the logo whenever I make a video or take a picture of the products plated. So this is basically my foolproof way of branding every single shot. If any of the guests took pictures of their plating or anything, the logo would be there. I didn't want to do anything so obvious like the table paper that we carry. So these slate plates were my go-to for this event. I ordered several sizes. We were going to have sushi. We were going to have lobster and steak. We were going to have crab soup. We're also going to have oyster shooters. So the various sizes were needed. And for a little contrast, I ordered gold silverware. I ordered gold cutlery to complement the black. To engrave the products, I basically used my Glowforge Pro. It worked like a charm. It took about 2 to 3 minutes per piece of slate to put the entire logo on it. It was very easy. It took me a while to do all 40 plus plates, but this is what it turned out, and it didn't cost me anything more than just buying the slate plates. Buying them off Etsy, it would be considerably more, but being as though I got the machine, I made it easy for me and the brand to make this all come to life. So now that I have the design all out the way, it was the day of the event and my neighbor did the most beautiful setup. We hosted it in their home because they have way more space for the amount of people that we wanted to host. And she did such a fantastic job setting up the plates and making everything look gorgeous. At the last minute, I decided to print off a menu so everybody could see what they were going to be eating, and it was such a nice touch. And to make sure everyone had a great time, we even hired a bartender and had the bottles popping. We had cocktails. We had a little bit of everything. And one of my favorite things that I think I brought to the table was the table topics conversation starters. They actually set the mood for the night. And as we prepare for the food to come out, it was a whole presentation. Just get into it.
Off the coast of Honolulu. It was swimming Wednesday morning. They caught it, processed it, got it to us on Friday, and it is here for arrival. It's ahi big-eyed tuna. The salmon this time of year, there is no wild-caught salmon, so we've got a sustainably farmed salmon from New Zealand. But I mean, it's king salmon. The fat content, the lines of fat, were just tremendous. It's going to come out incredible. So I'll let the chef tell you what she did with it.
So in the middle, we are going to have our tuna tartare. It's a little bit spicy with some minced jalapenos in it, but nothing too crazy. We took the seeds out. On the left side, we are going to have a salmon roll. It's more of a smoked salmon roll-esque sort of roll. It has your traditional cucumber and cream cheese, but we threw in a little bit of pickled red onion just to give it a little bit of a kick, make it feel more light on the palate. On the right side, we're going to have a spicy tuna roll. It also has that fresh jalapeno inside, but this one is paired with avocado and scallops. On the top and bottom of our plate, we're going to have oyster sauce, just to accompany the rolls, give them a little more flavor. In the middle, we'll have wasabi, and then on the top, of course, as comes with every single sushi, we have a ginger rose.
So as each course was completed, they brought it out, described the protein that we used, and then our chef described how she prepared it. And then one by one, we got served our meals.
All right.
Round two.
Second course of the evening. This is my favorite. It's got Maryland crab meat. I provided Maryland crab meat. We got jumbo lump, which are the big lumps from the back fin of the crab, and we got the claw that gives it extra flavor. It comes from obviously the claw. This is hand-picked in Crisfield, Maryland, crab capital of the world. We've sent it up to Chef Laney, and she'll tell you how she put it together in the soup.
So obviously traditional Maryland crab soup, very vegetable heavy. Everything is fresh and locally sourced from farms around Tampa. We have lima beans, peas, green beans, sweet corn, onion, carrots, a tomato base with a little bit of Old Bay and Worcestershire, and then on the top we have an Asiago crusted cornbread muffin with a little bit of jalapeno on top. So we will also bring out extra muffins for you guys.
All right.
Absolutely.
I really like how we described how we sourced the seafood, where it came from, and what it is that they're being presented, and then showing them the finished product. I feel like this was an experience that you usually get at high-end restaurants if they do any explaining at all. But it's the presentation for me. Peep the plates. You see what I was talking about? Like the presentation and the branding on the slate plate brought it all together. But I'm not even going to hold you. This soup was my favorite part. It was so meaty. The lumps of crab in it was just everything.
Number 3, we got Chesapeake Bay oysters that we provided. Oyster season up in Maryland is those that contain the letter R. So when we're in February, we're right in the middle of oyster season. The bay, the salinity of the bay is optimal for oysters. It has like a slight salty taste to them. They're nice plump oysters that we've given her. I'll let you tell me about what she's prepared.
So we have an oyster trio here. We have 3 different types. Going from the left to the right, we have a oyster Rockefeller. It is we made it using an aged Romano. It's almost like a bluey Romano. It has a little bit of oomph to it, adds a lot to the flavor profile. In the middle, we have a raw oyster with a Bloody Mary mignonette. It has some shallots, tomato juice, fresh cracked black pepper, very light, very fresh. And all the way on the right, we have a Cajun butter smoked oyster. And that one is pretty self-explanatory. So I will be bringing out toasted baguettes as well for you guys to eat with the oysters, give it a little more texture.
You know, this is a little sideline comment, but I just love how the seafood contrasts with the black slate. It was a great choice. Everything pops off of the plate. I know seafood is typically light colored, so I figured I don't want white plates for this. Let's put all the seafood on the slate. And look, it turned out so fantastic. And as you could tell, I'm a fan of hot sauce.
All right, so the 4 course of the night, we've got scallops. We got them from the Gulf of Maine. They are dry scallops. You know, when you have a scallop, they can be wet. They add water to them to plump them up, and then you cook them. They just shrink right back down. These are completely organic dry scallops. They are U10s, which means there's less than 10 per pound. They come, like I said, from the Gulf of Maine. They should be phenomenal, and I'll let Lainey explain what she did.
The base of our dish, we have a saffron risotto with Parmesan, a little bit of shallot, and Sauvignon Blanc. Organic chicken stock as well. On the top, we have a browned butter seared scallop. They're just cooked in a salted brown butter. Gives them a little more depth of flavor rather than just searing them off. They actually sit in the brown butter a little bit longer. And then to accompany, we have bacon wrapped asparagus. The asparagus is also locally sourced and organic. That's why they're a little smaller than you typically would see. They're not pumped with a bunch of pesticides and things like that to make them quite large. So, y'all enjoy.
Thank you so much.
My father was a sick one.
Okay. But see,
And I did it.
by get right? So that was my whole take, and I was like, I'm good.
And in in college, they didn't have any fraternity or sorority.
Yeah.
Here we go, the main course of the night.
Okay.
We have got, we provided lobster tails. They are Canadian lobster tails. Maine lobster tails only get about 7-8 ounce, so we went at 8 to 10. So just on the other side of Maine is the Canada side, where it's the same company harvests both for us. But so we have a Canadian lobster tail, and I source these prime filet mignons locally up at the butcher store. So I'll let Lainey tell you how she made them.
So the fillets are cooked medium rare, basted in an herb butter sauce with a nice sear on the top and bottom. The lobster tails were just cooked in the oven, baked with a garlic herb butter on top. And then on the right side, we have an au gratin potato stack with Asiago cheese.
When I tell you this was one of my favorite dinner parties that I've ever attended, and it just happened to be one that I'm hosting and through, I set the tone for myself. I love the customization of the plates. I love the seafood that was sourced, and I like the stories behind the protein that we're eating. It set the vibe for everything.
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maurice. Happy birthday to you.
If you guys have
Yes, Jesus, thank you. Hallelujah. I'm waiting on you, baby girl.
The house of horrors. See,
So now that the dessert is out, I can officially say I had a successful event, and I can't wait to throw more events like this featuring the Crab Place products.
I don't have to find an aesthetic. I am an aesthetic. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out here right now who's going into Pinterest trying to type up all these adjectives to describe me.